Hello friends, welcome to Indirect Taxes CA Final at Bharadwaj. I am Shiva Kumar. I am a chartered accountant and an advocate practicing in indirect taxes. The indirect tax paper, the paper 8 in group 2, is the most important paper out of all 8. The paper is very important for your aggregate for the entire group. It is also the easiest scoring paper. Ask anybody who has cleared CA Final and also rank holders, most importantly, everyone will vouch that this is the paper where you need to score the most to maximize your results. Now let's look into this subject in a slightly more detailed manner. This entire 100 marks of indirect taxes can be divided into broadly two parts: the goods and service tax, the GST portion, and the customs portion. The GST portion is 75 marks and the customs portion is 25 marks. Customs we will deal slightly later. Let's look into GST first. This GST can again be divided into two major areas. The core areas, which deals with levy, time of supply, place of supply, point of taxation, valuation, input tax credit, registration, etc., which deals in depth with the core of the GST law, and other non-core areas. This core area of GST will roughly fetch you around 40 marks out of 75, and the non-core areas fetch you 35 out of the 75. This non-core areas deals with your assessment procedures, appeals, penalties, prosecution, registration chapters, starting introduction regarding GST, constitutional validation of GST, and all those provisions, which are easily readable, which are one-time readable. If you read it thoroughly one time, you will never forget it. There are not many complications involved in these areas, and it is less in terms of volume for consumption than compared to the core areas. So are we ignoring the core areas? No, definitely not. We will be focusing on both core and non-core areas, but it is the non-core areas which will be the scoring area for the purpose of this examination perspective. Now let's park this GST for one side. Let's jump to customs. In custom, it is 25 marks, and customs contains both customs as well as foreign trade policy. The customs plus foreign trade policy is a time-tested area in the indirect tax paper. It has been there for last 30 years. It is one constant in an ever-evolving world of CA examinations. There are standard questions which has been repeatedly asked, and if you are master of these questions, you are master of these 25 marks. Again, this 25 marks is a golden opportunity, and you should be able to score maximum amount of marks in this area. This customs area can be broadly divided into the different types of taxes which you will pay in customs: basic customs duty, IGST, countervailing duty, special additional duty, anti-dumping duty, etc. These types of duties, how do you calculate the taxes? What are the different types of valuation mechanism that needs to be followed? And how do you classify the goods and services? When you get into the other areas such as drawback, refunds, etc., these areas are often tested in the examination, and there are very little changes over the last few years. Then comes foreign trade policy, which deals with very interesting and practical implicating areas such as advance license, which gives us benefit for exporters. And there are many schemes for exporters, and all these are being covered under the foreign trade policy. These areas put together will give you 25 marks. Again, a very limited amount of syllabus, but maximum amount of marks. So friends, this 25 marks of customs and 35 marks approximately of the non-core areas, this itself will give you around 55 to 60 marks, wherein you can score at least 40 if not more. And the core area, the main levy, time of supply, place of supply, all complications, the entire GST law in its full glory, out of that 40, if you can score just 20, you're looking at an exemption paper at paper 8 indirect taxes.